morning, Bella Vista, and welcome to our first live stream yoga class. This class is being offered to help our members who may be homebound, and unfortunately we've had to close the rec centers due to the pandemic. So we hope that by watching this or maybe coming back to it later when you have some time to do this yoga class will be helpful. This is a test. We plan to live stream more classes if this goes over well today, so bear with us. And with that, just a few things to know about yoga, whether this is a first class for you or you've done many. I just remind you that this is your practice. This is not about what I'm leading, but it is about your interpretation of what your body needs. You're going to have Jessica here showing some modifications in the chair. Lots of this can be done from the chair. And Courtney will be doing the traditional floor yoga. Our focus today is really about letting go of stress and letting go of things that we cannot control. All we can do is take care of ourselves, and yoga is a great stress reliever. So we hope you enjoy this practice. As you get into a comfortable position, whether it's seated in a chair or on the floor, know that there's lots of options. For some people, having a towel handy and using it right under your hips will allow you to sit a little longer, more comfortably. You can also sit with your legs out straight. They don't have to be cross-legged. They can be out in front of you or in a V position, whatever works for you. So with that, let's just begin to focus on our breath. Let's take some nice, easy breaths, inhaling through our nose and exhaling through our mouth. As you exhale, think about letting go. As you inhale, fill up the lungs, the diaphragm, the chest. As you exhale, let all that air dissipate. You can close your eyes if you like, or leave them open, whatever works for you. Give yourself just a few seconds to arrive. And when you're ready, place your right hand next to your hip. The left arm is going to come up and over as we inhale. And exhale, float that arm down. Inhale up. And exhale down. Inhale up. And exhale, release. Inhale. And as your body starts to warm up, maybe you can take it a little further. On this next one, we're going to hold. Take it across. Hold the position, but not the breath. Inhale and exhale. On the next exhale, float your arm down. Left hand on the side of our hip, and we go again. You'll notice Jessica is doing this in the chair, and she's got one arm below her hip, one arm reaching over just like the rest of us. Inhale through the nose. Exhale, float the arm down. Let's begin to talk about a more traditional yoga breath, which is done generally inhaling and exhaling through the nose. As we started to warm up, we were doing an inhale through the nose and an exhale through the mouth. And that certainly is workable for the rest of the class if that works better for you than the traditional inhale and exhale through the nose. Let's hold it here, holding the stretch, but again, not holding our breath. If you want to try the inhale and exhale through the nose, go ahead. On the next exhale, float that arm down. Placing your hands on top of your knees, thinking about your hip bend, not your waist. You're going to forward flex from your hips and look out in front of your chair or mat. As you exhale, lengthen back up. Sitting tall, reaching the top of the head towards the ceiling. Inhale forward, exhale up. Inhale forward. Exhale up. Again, remember, if you don't like the cross leg position, you can change it up a little bit. You could have one knee bent and one knee straight. But you are going to take your left hand on top of the knee, the right knee. The right hand is going to go slightly behind you, and you're going to start with a twist coming from your torso. You're going to look over the shoulder. Exhale back to center. Relax. Inhale, twist again. Exhale back. Inhale, twist. And exhale back to center. Take it the other way. Right hand on the left knee. Left hand comes behind. Sit up nice and tall again. Inhale, twist and look over that shoulder. Exhale back to center. Try not to force it, but do allow yourself to move into a stretch where you feel the spine opening. Inhale, look across, shoulder. Exhale back to center. And one last time, we'll hold it a little longer. Inhale. Exhale as we stay. Breathe. And on the next exhale, bring it back to center. Let's go ahead and bring our legs out in front of us, whether you're in a chair or on the mat. And if you want to shake those legs out a little bit, you're going to let your toes kind of relax away from your body, thinking about the hip and the crease at the top of your thigh, hands on either side of your legs or on the side of the chair. We're going to inhale, look forward, out over your toes. Use your hands for support. You're lengthening through the hamstrings and the lower back. As you exhale, sit as tall as you can. Again, always thinking about reaching the crown of the head to the ceiling. Inhale forward, looking out in front of you. Exhale up. Inhale forward. Exhale up. And let's do a modified back bend. You're going to take your hands behind you now, or beside your chair, and I just want you to press your chest forward and lay your head back, opening the chest to the ceiling, or opening your heart center to the heavens above. And then exhale, relax. Bringing our feet together, bottoms of our feet together. If you're in the chair, you might have your feet slightly separated, but you're going to let your knees fall open as far as you can to the side. Sitting comfortably and letting gravity do the work by pulling the knees down towards the floor. We're just going to breathe into this. And again, give ourselves time to arrive. If you're more flexible and know you need a little bit more, you can take the lower arms onto your thighs and press your knees open a little bit more. That's just an option. Do what you need for you to achieve what's right for your body. Breathe into it. And then when you're ready, you can bring those knees back together. You might want to shake your legs open and close a couple of times. Very nice. From here, Courtney and I are going to transition onto all fours, and Jessica's going to stay in the chair for some cat-cow stretches. If you're on the floor, again, if your knees need a little extra cushion, you could double up your mat. You could use a towel to put under your knees for a little extra cushion. Your knees are hip width apart. Your hands are nice and spread. Your fingers are very wide. And your hands are right under your shoulders. From here, think about a neutral spine or a flat back. Your head is looking slightly forward. And if you're in the chair, you're just sitting in your nice natural posture. This is called tabletop. If you're on the floor and you put a coffee table book on your back, it would not slide off because it's relatively flat. From here, start to drop your head round your back, pull your navel up and in towards your heart, and create as much space between your wrists and shoulders as possible. Jess is showing it in the chair, and she's rounding her back like a cat, or into the C, capital letter C for cat. And then we're going to all slightly bend our elbows and bring our head and chest forward and stretch the spine in the opposite way. This is known as cow. So in this position, our chest is closer to the ground, our hips are back. Let's go ahead and inhale again, rounding the back, pulling the navel up and in towards our heart center, creating space between our wrists and our shoulders. Bring the head and chest forward, and again, you're exhaling. Now again, you could do the breath different. You could inhale on this cat, and you could exhale on the, you could inhale on this cow, and you could exhale on the cat. The big thing is to just keep your breath moving. With every movement in yoga, it's good to coordinate with a breath, either an inhale or an exhale. Exhale back to your flat back, or if you're seated, into your neutral spine. From here, tuck your toes under, and Jess is going to stand up and use the chair, and we're going to go into our first down dog. So you're going to press your legs back. Your heels are going to go as close to the earth as you can get them. Your ears are framed by your shoulders, and again, Jess is using the chair as a modification. Press your chest towards your thighs. Think about wrapping your armpits under and towards the midline of your body. From here, roll up on your toes, lift your heels off your mat, and feel a great stretch in those legs, in the calves. Exhale, press those heels down as close to the mat as you can get. If you can't quite touch the mat, that's okay. Inhale, heels up. Exhale, press the heels down. One more time. Inhale, heels up. Exhale, press down. Look towards your hands and go ahead and drop back to all fours. And Jess will just stay in the position she's in. From here, we're going to go one more time into down dog. Press your heels all the way towards the mat. Press your chest towards your thigh bones, and we're going to do down dog split leg. Starting with your left leg, reach it up and back. Keep your hips square to your mat. It's not important how high you lift your leg. You see Jessica is doing it from the chair. But it is important how lengthened your leg is. At this point, we're going to open the hip, bend the knee, let your knee rise up a little higher than your hip, and feel the work, feel the opening. You're bearing weight between both shoulders. Your chest is not twisted so much as it is more lengthened towards the long side of the mat. Go ahead and inhale, extend that leg back up, and then bring it to the floor. If you need a break at any time, you can go back to all fours. Otherwise, we're going to take the right leg up, reach it back. Again, right now, our chest is squared off to the short side of the mat. Breathe and reach that leg long, and then exhale, bend the knee so that the knee is a little higher than the glute, and you're feeling the opening through the hip. Keeping the pressing through the hands, through the entire hand, but especially focus on the thumb and the index finger. From here, inhale, lengthen that leg back. Exhale, press that foot back down. And let's go ahead and drop into all fours. Jessica's going to transition onto the mat. If you just want to rest through some of these next things, you can certainly just stay in the chair and do what works for you. Keeping the tops of your feet flat on the mat, let's go into our first child's pose. and you're going to drop back, and you're going to let your forehead rest on the mat, or you can turn your head to the side. You're going to notice that Courtney has her hips sunk back onto her heels, so she's stretching back, she's breathing. You'll notice that on Jessica, her arms are out in front of her, so that from the base of her spine or the top of the cervical vertebrae all the way to the lumbar spine, she's getting her spine nice and lengthened. This is a restorative pose. You can go into it any time. Just breathe through it. Think about inhaling and expanding, but as you exhale, think about softening your whole body into the mat in Child's Pose. And then when you're ready, place your hands closer to your knees and go ahead and press yourself up. Very nice. All right. From here, we're going to transition. We're going to take our hands on the floor and back to all fours. And we're going to transition into down dog again. And we're going to do our best down dog. We're going to press our chest towards our thighs. We're going to wrap those armpits towards the midline of the body. We're going to have our ears framed between our shoulders. We're going to look at our hands, and then we're going to slowly walk ourselves up. One step at a time. Get your feet as close to your hands as you can, bending your knees now. Depending on how tight your hamstrings are, I want you to rest your chest on your thighs. Now, you can bend your knees completely and almost have your whole upper body supported by your legs, or if your hamstrings are a little more flexible, maybe you have a slight bend in your knees and your chest is not as much on your thighs. I'm going to show you this from the side. So you could be here. I'm completely supported by my legs. My whole chest is resting on my thighs. Or here's a modification. From here, look at your knees. Start to invert. And you might even want to shake your head side to side and relax your upper body. And then slowly, one vertebrae at a time, let's begin to roll up. Looking towards our thighs as we roll up. Rolling all the way nice and tall until our shoulders roll back and our head becomes level with the horizon. And we are standing tall into Tadasana or into Mountain Pose. Stand nice and tall. From here, we're going to go into some sun salutations, hands in the heart position. Let's step towards the front side of our mat. And we're going to go through the first revolution in a slow motion, and then we'll go from there. Inhale up, saluting the sun, slightly arching back, and exhale, swan dive down. Place your hands on the front of your legs, on your shins. Look forward, flat back. Exhale, look down towards your feet. You can bend your knees as much as possible or as little as needed. Go ahead and look at your feet, hands on either side. The right leg steps back. The left leg joins it. You're in plank, or Jessica is going to show modified plank. You're going to slowly lower down. Keeping your hands close to your chest and letting the tops of your feet be flat on the mat. Arch up into Cobra, as little or as much as you need. Remember, this stretch is for the mid-back. You feel it a lot in your lower back. You need to modify and make it less. Tuck your toes under and you can press into all fours and then down dog, or you can go right to down dog. Press your chest towards your thighs. Wrap those shoulders around. Look between your hands. The right leg comes up. You're in lunge. Left leg joins the right. Bend those knees. Sink your heels into the earth as you rise up and salute the sun again. Slight arch back. Hands to heart center. We'll do it again, leading with the left. Inhale up. Exhale, swan dive down, hinging from the hips. Hands on top of your shins. Look forward, flat back as an inhale. Exhale, look towards your knees. Bend your knees as much as possible. Left leg goes back first. Right leg joins it. You're in plank or modified plank as Jess is showing. Slowly lower down. Keep your hands close to your chest, tops of your feet lay flat. Cobra or up dog. And back to down dog. You may do a all four in between. Press into your best down dog, chest towards your thighs. Hands pressing into the earth. Looking through your hands, the left leg comes up. The right leg joins it. Bend your knees. Sink into the earth as you counterbalance and rise up. Salute the sun, slightly arching back. Hands to heart center. And that's a complete cycle of sun salutation, one on the right, one on the left. We're going to go on and we're going to add a couple of asanas or poses to this. Inhale up, exhale, swan dive down. Hands on top of the shins, look forward with a flat back, feel the stretch in the hamstrings and the lower back. Exhale, look towards your knees, your hands on either side of your feet, bend your knees as much as you need to get back into that lunge. And you're going to stay here in the lunge now. Bring your hands on the inside of that foot, both hands on the inside of your foot. You're looking forward, you're feeling the stretch in the back leg, which is relatively straight. Breathe into it. And then take your hand on the other side of the foot. Okay? And then go back into your plank or modified plank. From there, everybody goes down. You're going to inhale up. Tops of the feet are flat on the mat. Cobra. Into all fours and then down dog. Breathe into it. Right leg comes forward. Feel that stretch. Left leg joins. Bend those knees. Inhale, swan dive up this time. Hands to heart center. Very nice. Inhale up. Exhale. Hinge from the hips, not from the waist. Hands on the front of the shins. Flat back. Look forward as you inhale. Exhale. Bring it down. Hands on either side. This time the left foot comes back and we're going to stay in lunge. Move both hands to the inside of the foot. You're going to reach that front knee forward, the back heel's reaching back, lengthen through that leg. Feel the work through the legs. You certainly can make this easier by dropping the back knee if you want. So that's an option. Breathe into it. On the next inhale, take that hand on the other side of the foot. That right leg comes back. You're in plank or modified plank. Lower down, keeping your elbows close to the body. And let's take a little breather here. Tops of the feet are flat. I want you to stack your hands, one on top of the other, and rest your chin on that hand. So everybody is nice and lengthened, and you let your spine relax, and just breathe. From here, you're going to keep your chin on your hands, but you're going to lift your upper body off the floor a couple of inches. Inhale. Exhale, lay down. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. Place your hands close to your chest. Leave your hands right there. And you're going to tuck your toes under. You're going to go to all fours. And then back to down dog. Breathe into it. Press your chest back, ears framed between your shoulders. Armpits wrapping under towards the midline of the body. Looking up towards your hands. This time the left leg comes through. The right leg joins it. Bend the knees, sink into the earth as you rise up, salute the sun, arching back slightly, hands to heart center. Very nice, that was 2 revolutions. We're going to do one more, adding on again. Inhale up, exhale, swan dive down. Hands on the shins, we're going to inhale, flat back, look forward. Exhale, invert, look towards your knees, bend the knees as much as you need to. Hands on either side of the foot. The right leg comes back. The left leg joins the right. Plank. Slowly lower down. Tops of the feet stay down. Hands come out now to the side. Bend the elbows. The legs separate out. And we're going to do parachuters. Okay, so you're going to lift up the legs and the arms slightly off the floor and exhale, release. Legs come off the floor a few inches, arms come off the floor a few inches. Core of the body stays strong. Inhale up, exhale, release. Again, inhale up, squeeze your glutes, and exhale, release. Hands slide back to the chest, legs come back together, toes are tucked, back to all fours and down dog. And again, we add on with split leg down dog. Reach that leg up and back and bend the knee and open the hip. This time you can look under that shoulder blade, a little twist, breathe into it. When you're ready, you're going to extend that leg up, reach it back, and you're going to slide that leg forward into pigeon. You're going to sweep that leg forward, knee goes to the side, and the back leg goes back. Now this is a little more challenging of a asana. Those of you that know the figure 4, I'm going to quickly flip over. Courtney and Jess are going to stay where they're at. But here's an option if you don't like this style of pigeon. You can be on your back, bend your knee, one leg comes across, and the other leg comes up, and you're going to grab that bottom leg, and we're stretching through the hip here. So in a way, it's flipped over. It's flipped over pigeon. A lot of people know this as figure 4. All right, from here, breathe into it. Breathe. Pigeon only works if you breathe. If you want to, if you're a little more flexible, you can even come down on your forearms and go a little deeper. What you want to make sure you're doing is you're right over that front leg. You're not rolled to the side. You're on top of that bent knee. Breathe into it on the next inhale. You're preparing. You're going to take your hands close to your knee. You're going to slide that knee back, and you're going to go back to down dog. Breathe into it. You're going to look through your hands. The right leg comes through. The left leg joins. The knees are bent. You're inhaling, rising back up, saluting the sun, arching back, hands to heart center. Inhale up. Exhale, swan dive down, hinge from the hips. Hands on the shins as you look forward, flatten the back, stretch the spine, stretch the hamstrings. Exhale, relax those knees, hands on either side. Left leg goes back this time. Right leg joins it. Hold the plank or modified plank. We're holding right now. Modified or full. Your hands are right under your shoulders. Move your left hand to the center. Take the right hand and come up. And modification is the bottom knee is going to stay down. So I'm going to show this here. This is modification. Your knee is down, or you're in the full side plank. Stack your shoulders. Exhale, turn towards the mat, back to plank, back to all fours, and back to child's pose. Sink back to child's pose. Breathe into it. Breathe and let go. This is a restorative pose. Sink back. Remember, with each exhale, you're letting go and sinking into the earth deeper. When you're ready, you're going to come back to all fours. Hands right under your shoulders. Flat back, just breathe. Then you're going to go into you're going to go into plank or modified plank. You're going to walk your right hand into the center of the mat, and you're going to turn into side plank. Remember, you can drop the lower leg and still get a nice side plank. Reach up, just as showing the modification. Open the heart, looking towards your top hand, but if that's not comfortable on your neck, you can turn your head slightly. When you're ready, exhale and take it back to plank or modified plank. Lower yourself down. Tops of the feet flat on the mat. Cobra. Tuck your toes under. All fours or right into down dog. Down dog. This time the right foot comes up and reaches back. Reach, reach, reach. And then bend the knee. And you can look under that armpit. Both shoulders still bearing the weight. Open up that hip. And then orientate yourself forward again. Extend that leg, reach it up, and then sweep it through into pigeon, opposite side. And you're going to extend that back leg back behind you. You can come down on your forearms, or you can stay up, but do you feel that stretch? And again, if you want a modification, you're going to take that leg across, the other leg you're going to grab underneath, and you do your figure four, and it's a great opener for that hip. Breathe into it. If you're on the floor, you're going to take a nice inhale. You're going to think about that leg. And as you exhale, you're going to slide it back and right back in to down dog. Last time in down dog. Press your hips back. Press your chest towards your thighs. Ears between your shoulders. Look between your hands. And the left leg comes through. And the right leg joins it. Bend the knees, and one last time, inhale up, and exhale, hands to heart center. And relax. Let's stand like mountain again. Feet right under you, turn your hands out, Tadasana pose. Just realign your spine in standing position. Hopefully you're feeling pretty good. This is a pretty good workout this morning. So again, modify as needed. Take a little break if you want. You can end the class faster than I do. Come back to it later. Whatever you need. We're going to do some chair poses next. So if you have the chair handy, you can use it as just sort of a helper. You're still going to do the pose, but if you get tired, you always have the chair to sit back into. So Jess is going to stand right in front of the chair. Courtney and I have our feet slightly apart. And we're going to sit back towards our heels, and we're going to bring our arms forward. Now you notice right now I'm going pretty deep. I don't want to go below parallel with my thighs, but if I want to make this a little less intense, I'm going to rise up, okay? Or I can go a little deeper. Courtney's young. She can let her thighs burn longer than me. So she's going a little deeper, and I'm going to come up. Some people like to have their hands up by their ears, but I do want you to relax your shoulders. Exhale, stand tall. Nice. So if you have your hands up by the shoulders, a tendency is to rise up with the shoulders. You want to retract your shoulder blades. Let's try that again. Shake your feet out first. Again, think about sinking your weight back towards your heels and leaving your chest open and high. When you're ready, inhale, sink back. Check those shoulders, roll them back if you can. Breathe. And rise up. And you notice that Jessica is very close to the chair, so if she wants to sit all the way down, she can at any time. Let's do one more cycle. Inhale up with the arms, sit back with the legs. If you can wiggle your toes, you know you're doing this in pretty good form because you've got to have your weight on your heels, otherwise we'd be falling forward. Breathe into it. If you want to, you can even place your hands lightly on top of your thighs. And exhale, rise up. Hello. Feel those legs, ladies? Okay, shake them out a little bit. And we're gonna go on to our warrior series, starting with warrior one. Place your right foot forward, straight ahead. And if you're on a mat, you wanna think about your foot having your toes facing the short side of the mat. Your left leg is gonna be slightly kicked out to the side, about a 45-degree angle, but really it's what's comfortable for you. From here, I'm gonna think about rotating my hips and my chest towards the short side of the mat, and I'm gonna bring my arms up as I bend my front knee. This is warrior one. We're gonna breathe into this, and we're gonna hold, breathe, inhale and exhale. We're now going to lower the arms to a T position, and we're going to rotate towards the long side of our mat. And our front knee is bent. We're looking out over the middle finger. And I'm going to start to bend the front knee a little bit more. I'm going to ground myself. Remember, this is not a forward movement. It is an up-down. So now bring your arms up and straighten the front leg. Exhale, bend the front knee and sink back into it. Think about pushing to the outside edges of your feet, not rolling your legs in. Inhale up, you can look up towards the sky. Exhale, back down. Inhale up. Exhale, sink. And one more time, and this time we're going to hold warrior two. Really look out towards that middle finger of the front arm. Reach both fingertips, front hand and back hand from extremes. Reaching them long. Front leg is bearing weight. Breathe into it. On the next inhale, bend the front elbow. You're going to rest that elbow on your thigh as you come into a modified triangle. So your right arm is on your right thigh, your left hand is up. Look towards your top hand and think about opening your chest, opening your heart. Now, if you want to go a little deeper, Courtney and I are going to go down to our shin or the floor. Jess is going to show what she's showing now, modification. But if you want to try a little deeper, you can take your hands to your shin or to the floor and still stack those shoulders, still extend, and breathe into it. And Courtney's doing a great job opening her chest. She's got her shoulders stacked, her arms up. If her neck didn't feel good in this position, she could look towards the floor a little bit. With the next inhale, what you're going to do is you're going to rise up and you're going to think about raising that hand all the way up to the sky. Grab a cloud with your hand and back to warrior two. Bend the front leg. Reach out, look over the middle finger of the front arm, and then we're going to straighten the front leg, and we're going to lay back, so to speak, onto the back leg and look up towards the top hand. This opens the front of your hip. Breathe into it. Exhale back to warrior two. Bend the front knee. Let's try that triangle one more time. We're going to bend the elbow. We're going to slide out over that leg, and top hand comes up. We're stacking one shoulder over the other. We're thinking about our backside against an imaginary wall. So if we looked at each other from the side, we'd really be taking up very little space, a sliver, if you will. If you want to go farther down to your shin, straighten that front leg, you can now, or to the floor. And breathe into it. 3 breath cycles on your own. On the next inhale, you're going to reach up, grab a cloud, back to warrior two. And then you're going to let those arms sink down and step to the front of your mat. Shake it out. Very nice. We're We're going to do warrior 3. This is a little more challenging. It's a lot of balance work, but it's so good for us. So put your right foot forward just like you do in warrior 1, and your left foot is kicked out like you do in warrior 1. Your hips are oriented towards the short side of the mat. Everybody can do this part. If it's too intense, bring that back foot in a little bit. You're going to hinge from this crease at the top of your leg, lengthening out over the front leg with a slight bend in the knee, and you're looking out in front of you, a good 2-3 feet. And you're letting the spine stretch, reaching out, supporting yourself with your hands on the top of your thigh. Exhale and stand tall. And let's do that again. And this time, bend the knee a little bit more and start to really shift your weight over that leg. The back leg is your kickstand. You might want to have your toes down, but you're starting to bear weight all on this front leg. You've got that kickstand for support, and for some of us, we're going to leave our kickstand down like Jess is going to show for a moment. The rest of you, if you want to try it, you can slightly lift your kickstand, or you can get into a more vertical position. Some people like to do this with their hands forward. I do it with my hands back. Jess is going to show now, I'm going to put my kickstand down, and Jess is going to show a more vertical position. She can actually get into a better position than I can. So I'm still doing it. I've got my kickstand down. Lots of balance work, lots of leg work. Beautiful. Everybody, inhale, lengthen up, hinge back up, and shake that leg out. Now I want you to just be in your body for a minute and feel what you feel in terms of the fire in the muscles, so to speak. So that's just an indication that you've worked those muscles hard, and those muscle fibers are actually firing. And that lasts for a few minutes after you stop the exercise. That's a good thing. That means your metabolic rate is staying up. Let's go to the left side and do our warrior series there. So the left foot is forward, toes facing the short side of the mat, and the foot is kicked out. I want to just point out one thing that I forgot to mention earlier. Courtney's actually on a rug. It happens to be a yoga rug, but you can take any throw rug that you want if you don't have a yoga mat at home. Let's bend the front knee slightly. Let's orientate our chest and our hips towards the short side of the mat and go into warrior 1. You can sink down a little bit. And then we're going to exhale and turn towards the long side of the mat. You might want to adjust your stance. You're looking out over the middle finger or the front arm, and you're thinking about sinking back towards the edges. From here, you're going to rise up, straighten that front leg, exhale, bend that front leg, and reach out. Inhale up, exhale, sink. Inhale up, and exhale, sink. Pushing out towards the outside edges of your feet. On the next one, we're going to stay and breathe and really lengthen and strengthen into this pose. Moving into a modified triangle. We're going to bend that front arm. We're going to reach and rest the the left arm on the left leg. Stack our shoulders, look up towards our top hand. If you want, you can go further to your shin or to the inside of the foot. Just remember, you're trying to keep one shoulder over the other. Your heart is open. Breathe into it. When we come up, we're going to reach for a cloud. Top hand reaches up and back to warrior 2. Now you're going to straighten the front leg, and you're going to lean back and open the front hip. And exhale back to warrior 2. Let's do the triangle again. Modified, bend that front knee. Reach out slightly with your upper body. Rest that arm on the thigh. Bring it up. Take it lower if you like, or stay where you're at. Keep the breath moving. When you're ready, reaching and lifting the torso up, reaching for the cloud, back to warrior two. And relax those arms, float them down. Step to the short side of the mat and shake it out a little bit. All right, we've got warrior three to go. So, I'm gonna bring the left foot forward. Did I do that left foot first? I'm having a moment. See, we always have a moment. I did the right foot first. Good, okay. So left foot is forward, the right foot is in a kicked out position, about 45 degrees. Our hips are still lined up to the short side of the mat. We're gonna hinge from the top crease of our leg and look out over our mat onto the floor, a couple of feet in front of us, and just feel that nice stretch. Maybe you don't even want to try warrior three. You can definitely do this part of the asana. Breathe into it. And then slowly come up. Gonna bend the front knee a little bit more and start to bear a little bit more weight on that front leg. And you're gonna again stretch forward. Start to feel the weight of the body on that front leg. That back leg is now your kickstand. You choose whether or not that kickstand stays down or comes up as you move into warrior three, any position that works for you. Go ahead and explore this on your own. Jessica, Courtney, and those of you watching, do the warrior three that works for you. You might even want to explore and do a couple of different versions of it. Go in and out of the pose, try different arm positions. You can even do this holding onto the side of a chair. And when you're ready, you're going to rise back up and shake those legs out. And again, be in your body, stand tall like a mountain. Savasana pose. Let your body realign. So we're going to transition next into the relaxation portion of class. We've got about 10 minutes left. Jessica is going to actually do it seated in a chair, so if you don't want to go back down to the floor, you don't have to. Courtney and I will be on the floor. Courtney will be showing a traditional Savasana. Courtney, your head's going to be at this side of the mat. And I'm going to start in Savasana, but at some point, I'm going to sit back up so that I can talk you through the relaxation. So if you're on the floor, you're going to lay back slowly. Traditional Savasana is done with your legs about 18 to 24 inches apart, and you're going to let your toes roll to the side, and your hands are out, open, with your arms about 45 degrees away from your body. Okay, so a little separation between your hips and your hands. Your head is relaxing. Jessica can sit any way she wants to be comfortable in her chair. And let's begin to close our eyes and focus on letting go. And just breathing again. All our focus on breath, rest, and peace. You may want to transition back into a comfortable breath, inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the mouth, or a relaxation breath. Again, Courtney's showing traditional Savasana. Jessica is doing a seated relaxation. And I'm going to sit and talk you through it. Close your eyes. Begin to rest, relax, let go. Breathing in and out. With every exhale, softening the body a little bit more, letting go a little bit more. Letting go of things that we cannot control. Recognizing this is a difficult time. The unknown is hard for many of us. Change is hard for many of us. Disruption of our normal routines. But let's begin to let go of those things we can't control and focus on all the things that we can. Taking care of ourselves, continuing to exercise, whether that's at yoga, at home, downloading an app, going outside for a walk, trails are still open. Keeping your distance from people in groups, but taking care of you. Inhale through the nose, nice and slow. Exhale, open the jaw like an audible sigh. Continue to breathe slow and deep. And lay back and let go. Your focus right now is to rest, relax, let go. Breathing, rest, relax, let go. Feeling a slight heaviness of your body, an indication you're starting to relax. Recognize the body is releasing. You've done the difficult work of some of the asanas, and now it's time to recover. Give yourself permission to rest, relax, and let go. Breathe. Hear the sound of the chime. Start to bring yourself back to the present. Become aware of your surroundings again. Maybe make small movements with your body. Open and close your fingers. Wiggle your toes. Perhaps turn your head side to side. Slowly open your eyes. Be aware of your surroundings. And when you're ready, roll onto your left side and spend a few moments in a semi-fetal position, resting your head on your shoulder. Whenever you're ready, taking your top hand, press it into the floor to assist you back up to a seated position where we'll close out class. Sit any way that's comfortable for you again, cross-leg, V-sit, one leg crossed, whatever works. Remember, you can use a towel under your hips to get a little more comfortable. And bring your hands to heart center. And we close this class today thanking you for trying this out. We hope it's beneficial for you. Feel free to share the information with your neighbors and friends. This is going to be out on our POA website, so you can go back to it. We're going to try and do more classes. We'll let you know when those are coming. In the meantime, be healthy, be safe, be kind. Namaste.